Well, first let me tell you, I thought that the pastor forum was well attended by local pastors in the area. Also, I thought that the subject matter was so appropriate when we talked about the fall of man. Most of the pastors that attended today had wonderful contributions and feedbacks into the subject matter. This whole idea about the fall of man, how we fell, what was the cause of the fall, and why God did not intervene. These were some of the questions that we kind of like wrestled with in the room. And we all left with a higher level of understanding, a higher level of awareness as to what really caused the fall. And also not what caused the fall, but also what goes on in the human heart that leads to the fall. Because you know, according to the divine principle, we have the original mind, which is the good mind, and we also have the evil mind. Paul talks about in Romans chapter 7, 22 and 24, about this war that goes on in the spirit. Today, in the passive form, a lot of our brothers got into that whole ideology as to what this war was about, what caused the war. It was a conflict. It was a conflict between the good mind and the evil mind. I thought that this forum was a wonderful opportunity for us to learn, number one. Number two is to go back to our local congregations, our communities, and to reveal this truth. And it is a truth. As Jesus talks about in the scripture, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. Another point that came out in this passive form, which I thought was very important, and that was how Satan had blinded centuries and centuries of humanity over this whole idea as the fall was an apple. As a matter of fact, the other day I heard this well-spoken PhD, Dr. John Gray, as he talked about man is from Mars, women is from Venus. But he reverted back to the scripture when he says, you know, when Adam and Eve was in the garden, they ate the apple. I think he needs a lesson on OSDP. That'd be great, I think. But we talked about that, and in talking about that, we all concluded that it was not the apple. It was something deeper. It was a deeper. It was a deeper meaning. It was symbolisms that was used in the scripture with deeper meaning. And so when we understood this truth, and we know this truth, it is wonderful for us to share with others. I thought that first it wasn't a lecture; it was a roundtable discussion, which was, I think, important because it would allow others to give that give and take, you know, to share their commonalities and share their interpretations of the scripture. I think one of I guess I won't call it new because there's nothing new under the sun. But what I will say is that we came to a higher awareness of the deeper meaning of the scripture. What we concluded now was that there was a sexual involvement in the beginning, improper sexual involvement. And what led up to that improper sexual involvement, as you know, according to the divine principle, it was Lucifer who went into a dialogue and a conversation with Eve. Now, in our mind, we thought it was a one evening, but I think what came out today was a ongoing dialogue, an ongoing discussion that weakened the heart and mind of Eve, that detracted her from Adam and attracted her to Lucifer. And when they had this common bond that led into disobedience, Eve realized what she did, and then she went to her husband, Adam, and tried to rectify it, but instead made the whole scene worse. I think getting into that a little deeper today was a new revelation for, certainly for me, as well as for the ministers who attended. Before you can build any building, no matter how tall, how large, the building is, you got to have the right foundation, and you have to prepare the foundation. Just can't drop the building on site. You got to prepare the foundation because it's new. And that's the same thing with the human mind and the human spirit and the human heart. You have to prepare the foundation. And so the real question is, how do we prepare the foundation? Small pieces at a time, because it's new revelation. You don't want to choke these spiritual babies. Paul talks about, being carnal. I had to give you milk, because if I gave you meat, you could not take it. That same principle applies with this new information. You have to give it to the congregations small pieces at a time, but also to have roundtable discussions as we had today and get into the scripture. But also surprising, what I've learned that a lot of times the congregation knows a little more than the minister on this whole idea of a human fall. I've been talking to some of the ministers members off the record, and I said, now, what do you think that this fruit was? What do you think this fruit on the tree was? And they said, oh, Reverend Simon, it was sex. I said, wow, how do you realize that? It shocked me. They knew more than me. It was so. I think in a lot of cases, the members, it wouldn't be difficult for to share this truth, but set the foundation, and pour the mortar in the foundation properly. Then you can build this new truth.